So I tried to go live. It was not successful. I don't know why, but I'm just going to make a video and post it. I wanted to go live because it's easier for me to answer questions like speaking like this. And I wanted to give the folks the opportunity to ask questions. Just, you can ask written questions if I don't answer what you've been wondering. Feel free to ask it, but it may take me a while to get, Lord of mercy, I think it's about to rain. Anyway, I want to pre-warn folks that I did not make notes. I'm just gonna kind of try to give some basic updates about things that have been happening. And I also want to warn you, I might not be especially articulate or concise. I might say a lot of ums and things like that. I'm having a hard time with clarity of thought right now. So I'm just going to do the best I can. And if something about my mannerism or the way that I speak annoys you, just feel free to not watch. I understand that not being prepared is annoying for people, but I had some notes on my phone, but anyway, I wasn't able to get that done. So I want to first update you on us and then give you a more general update about my particular community. So we are okay. God was so good to us. I told some folks on my Twitter account, but I will repeat some information here. Also, my hands are dirty because I've been in the garden. I'm sorry. But anyway, our new basement flooded. We had several inches of rainwater come in and water also seeping through the floors. And Mac, my husband, literally spent hours on Friday with a plastic cup like you get at a restaurant and a 50-gallon tote. And he, by hand, removed pretty much all of the water from our basement. And then, thank God, we ended up getting power quickly, which I'll explain in a minute. We ended up getting power by the next day. And so we were able to run our dehumidifier. We have one dehumidifier and we were able to get it running. So we lost a queen size mattress, 2 couches, but and some clothes and some things like that. In that flooding, they were not things that just really weren't salvageable. It's not the end of the world. By comparison, it's incredible. So that was a huge blessing. Our roof has taken a lot of damage. Our siding took a lot of damage. In fact, there's just all kind of exterior stuff to our house from wind, ironically. Let me see if I can show you actually. So we are out, like I'm sitting on my front porch. We face out of, look at there, helicopter, and that looks like a C-130 maybe. I don't know if people will be able to see that, but it looks like a C-130 and a helicopter. But anyway, we are pretty wind vulnerable right here because we're on the side of a mountain. There's some trees around our house, but not a ton. And my greenhouse, I don't know if you can see it. It was a polytunnel. It's destroyed. Our shed is caved in. Roof is destroyed. And that was not a cheap shed because it was built with cinder blocks into the like mountainside behind our house. It's destroyed. It needs to come down ASAP. It's actually like dangerous. It scares me even having it there. Our barn took a lot of damage. We had fences down from trees galore. But because of where my house is, we did not have the rushing floodwaters that our neighbors had. So I have a neighbor down at the road who the floodwater literally came within like an inch of going into her house, and then the flooding stopped. And the fact that her house is still there is a miracle. We have a lot of neighbors whose houses are destroyed, are totaled. We have neighbors that just bought their house. I think they closed on it in the last month. It's a married couple with a baby, and their house is badly damaged. It's still standing, but they can't stay in it. They're staying with some other neighbors. Their house is very badly damaged. Our driveway got washed out. Our pond is, basically a like quicksand, muddy mess now. The garden got destroyed. You know, things that I don't even feel right complaining about them, because in the scheme of people having lost lives, homes, irreplaceable items, you know, it doesn't matter. But homesteaders will understand that losing your polytunnel, losing your half-acre garden, losing half of your orchard, because I planted an orchard this spring, spent a pretty penny. I lost both pecan trees I planted. I lost something like 5, I think, apple trees. I lost both of my dwarf cherry trees. I lost both of my apricot trees. I think the only trees that survived were my plum trees, my pear trees. I think I lost one pear tree. But 2 of my pear trees lived, 2 of my plum trees lived, and my peach trees lived. I'm pretty sure, I think I still have 2 apple trees. I think everything else got destroyed, which, as you can imagine, was disappointing. Again, nothing in the scheme of lives lost. I'm just trying to give a homesteader's perspective of an update. I'm not going to bore y'all by keep continuing to say how grateful we are and how blessed we are that we had such comparative small damage. Just know that we know that, and we are so grateful. I'm just gonna update you on what we did experience. We lost several chickens, laying hens. I'm not sure what happened, because during the flood they were in their coop, I'm pretty sure, but at last count I have lost 6 adult laying hens, and I found parts of a few of them, and I'm guessing in the aftermath of the storm, a predator maybe got them, an opportunistic predator. I don't know that for sure. That's just my working hypothesis. The fences, I mean, we have thousands of dollars of damage to fences. Our retaining wall that goes on either side of our basement, it is not an aesthetic retaining wall. It is an engineering requirement. It is a safety retaining wall. It's scary. The insurance adjuster came earlier, and he told me that they're not, he couldn't say they couldn't cover it, but that's basically what he said to me. He was like, he took some pictures of it, but he was like, yeah, maybe FEMA will help you with this, which I have real concerns about that too. But that retaining wall is at least going to cost us $10,000 to have repaired or replaced. I don't even know, but it is collapsing on either side of our basement. It's going to have to come down as soon as possible and be redone. Water. So my gutter started falling off, and water started going into my roof above my head where I'm sitting right now, off my front porch. And so he took a lot of pictures of that. The adjuster did. I am praying that the insurance company will help us with that, because it is now sagging. It looks very compromised. I'm very concerned about the structural integrity of the roof over the porch. Very concerned about it. Anyway, overall, I'm probably forgetting some things, but overall that is the bulk of the damage that we sustained. We were so blessed. I have neighbors who, so on the other side of the road, we're on a relatively major road here in Meat Camp, and on the other side of the road, almost every house has a bridge going out to their property, because the bridge has to cross over Meat Camp Creek. Sorry, I'm sweaty, by the way. The bridge has to cross over Meat Camp Creek to get to people's properties. And pretty much all those bridges are destroyed and washed away. People are having to, let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see. I don't know if you can see right. Like, I don't know, but if you can see out there, there's a bridge across the way, and they literally have some 2x6s stacked next to each other so that they can walk out across the bridges and get to the road. And then folks are giving people rides. We've picked people up and given them rides in our truck. We only have one vehicle, and it's a 6-seater truck. We have 6 people in our family. So, but we have been putting people in the back of the pickup truck and giving folks rides down like to the corner store and stuff, as needed. Anyhow, that's enough about us. I will tell you that the insurance adjuster for our insurance company came today, and he was very kind. He was a very gentlemanly man and very compassionate. He did not fill me with optimism about what's going to be covered. So we're just going to have to see. We had a small chicken coop that I put my broody hens in. Broody hens, for people who don't know, are hens that are, they've kicked into hatching out eggs mode. They're not always in that mode. But I love when I get a broody hen, and I'll put them in that little coop to keep them isolated from the other chickens, so they're not having to compete for food and water, and they feel safe. They can hatch out their babies and stay in this little broody coop, and then I will integrate them with the main flock in the other coop and the other run when the chicks have gotten large enough. And it got destroyed, along with that whole side of the house, everything that was on that side of the house with the polytunnel and my little broody chicken coop and some other things. It all got destroyed. So yeah, I mean, I had a lot of hope when I first heard about FEMA that maybe with like the retaining wall and things like that, that we would get some help. I don't really have much hope in that now, based on, I'm not trying to be a skeptic or a cynic either. I'm trying to be realistic and have healthy expectations. So we have a long way ahead of us, a long road, and just the community in general. So as I was saying, I got distracted. I'm so sorry. A lot of folks' bridges are out. A lot of folks' houses are done. They are totaled. A lot of livestock was lost. A lot of my local farmers around here lost hundreds and hundreds of feet of fencing. And for people who don't understand, fencing is not only very expensive to replace materially, but the labor required to put it up and the materials that you either have to buy or rent to put them up, like post hole, like augers. And like for us, I don't even know how we're going to get some of these fences replaced because they were on steep ground, and that's beyond my pay grade. But paying for the labor of folks to get them replaced, I don't know how we will do that either. So one thing at a time, you know. But a lot of these farmers around here have lost tens of thousands of dollars of fences. Folks have lost tens of thousands of dollars worth of hay. And hay ain't growing anymore now. Hay's done for the year. So it is going to have to be replaced at a premium, because when you buy hay in the summer, it's a lot more affordable. You can buy it out of the fields right after it's been cut. It's a lot more manageable. We had a lot of hay get destroyed. A lot of other neighbors, their barns got flooded, and that whole bottom layer of hay at least got destroyed, because once it gets wet, you cannot feed it to animals. It'll be great in gardens, but it cannot be fed to animals. And so you're looking at hundreds to thousands of dollars of lost feed for animals that you spent, and replacing it now, because of the time of year it is, it's going to be even more prohibitive to get it replaced. Like crop losses. Now, I know some folks have insurance for stuff like that. We are not producers. We don't sell anything we grow here. We give it away or we eat it ourselves. Everything we grow, we give away, that we don't consume ourselves. So That has been on purpose. We have wanted to give things away for free and not charge. Now that's going to bite us in the butt because we don't qualify for like a lot of the farm loans and things like that. We don't qualify because we are not a producer who sells. The stuff that we don't consume ourselves, we give away. So luckily, a lot of our local farmers are producers. They sell their beef, they sell their corn and things like that. They sell their Christmas trees, and so they will be able to get some relief, and I'm very thankful for those folks. But in the interim, farm feed got destroyed, hay got destroyed, straw got destroyed, barns got destroyed. That is stuff that is so expensive to replace, and people who know that, and people who don't know, that's probably big news to you. But yeah, I mean, so anyway, meat camp is, the main roads are accessible now, reasonably safe. You can get in and out, and you can get to the essentials that you need. The hollers and the back roads are not. So within a 2-mile radius of me, there are back roads that are inaccessible. And which is why we still have helicopters and things like that flying overhead, because we have so many folks who have still not been able to be given any kind of relief. That is changing. So, but as you go more and more out into the hollers and into the most rural communities, folks have still not been offered any relief. So, I will put a link below this video, but I have already shared in a few places, mostly on my Twitter account, my brother and his wife, my sister-in-law Amber, Michael and Amber, they are, along with folks from their church and just from their community, they are buying supplies themselves and going out into the most remote hollers on side-by-sides, four-wheelers and things like that, horses, and they are delivering supplies to people, and they are seeing people every day who have not seen another soul since the storm happened. So people who are very isolated, very remote. So I will put their information below. I can tell you that if you donate money to them, that money will go directly to helping people. There are no middlemen. There are no people getting a cut of that, a salary from that, nothing. There are other organizations that are doing wonderful things, but if your CEO's salary is over $1 million a year, I know you're still doing great things, but I would personally, I'd rather give my money to people that are working on such a small level that none of it is having to go to extras, if that makes sense. So I will put Mike and Amber's information below. I will also put my parish, my church's, there's only one Catholic church in Watauga County. There's only one Catholic church that I know of in Ashe County, and only one Catholic church that I know of in Avery County. No, that's still true, because there are chapels, but they're still part of the exact same church. So anyway, there's one priest in each of those counties. So if you go to the individual churches' websites, they are helping people in our community directly, and they all have hurricane funds set up. I will put a link to my church's hurricane fund below. You know, if you don't want to give to a church or something like that, there are a few other organizations whose, I don't have any personal experience with them, but people who I trust do. And I can't remember what they're called, but I'll try to get those links and put them down below. Anyway, things are coming back to life. As I said, we have power. We're on a relatively major road, so our power was returned to us relatively quickly. People in the hollers, many of them still do not have power. So, what can you do to help? I keep being asked this. The thing that people don't really want to hear is that people need cash. So if you can give money, give it to some of these organizations and people that are on the ground buying the supplies. This person needs this item. We can buy it because we have this cash on hand. Companies are donating things like water and stuff. That's getting out. There's a lot of supplies like that. I know baby formula is still and diapers are still very, very appreciated. Beyond that, there's a lot of help right now, material help, but much of our communities are very traumatized by what has happened. A lot of people have seen things that they will not be able to ever forget and that are going to stick with them. In several weeks' time, what happened here will be forgotten by most people who aren't here. The most valuable thing that you can do besides praying is set an alarm or a timer in your phone or write on your calendar 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks from now to check in with some of the folks out here and figure out what needs still exist and how you can help then. Because I'm telling you, the needs are going to last for a long time. The expenses are going to keep piling up and revealing themselves. Things that we haven't even thought of yet are going to be revealed. So right this minute today, there's people like my brother that you can financially help. Beyond us, but things like that right now. Please don't forget about us in the months to come. And the people in the hollers, the people who've lost everything. Christmas will be right around the corner. Trying to help children, families have a beautiful and sacred Christmas with their children and their families is a big deal. Trying to help folks to recover. I'm personally going to be planting and helping other people plant flower bulbs and perennial plants and trees and things that got destroyed in the storm. I want to help. There's so many beautiful gardens up here. And I know that sounds very trite, but I think beauty is healing. And so I'm calling my little project Plant Hope because I want to help folks. Right now is the time of year where we plant flower bulbs, and a lot of perennials and trees can be planted now too, and for the next several weeks. And I just want to help folks have their eyes on the future, on something, on planting some hope for the future, that we will recover from this and things will get better. And I'll leave my email below where you can contact me if you're interested in donating anything for that project. But just pray for us. Just keep praying for us. And again, I'm sorry this was such a not organized video. I am not going to edit it. So it just is what it is. And just keep us in your prayers. The Lord gives and the Lord takes away. And we are experiencing both sides of that right now. And in it all, He is good and He is just. And keep praying for the people of Appalachia and the other areas affected by this terrible storm. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart who have reached out and prayed for us and donated to us, donated to our family, done so much. I cannot express my gratitude enough. I'm completely overwhelmed by the love of strangers and friends alike. And in the darkest moments, it's the love and kindness of other people that has reminded me that we're not alone and that this too shall pass. Anyhow, thank you all so much, and keep praying for Appalachia.